Hello guys, and welcome back to GPS4 with our Sweden playthrough. Today we have two meetings to go to with some billionaires, left and right wing, that both love me. Let's butter them up, and the main thing is I want them to fund me. You're the richest and most generous. They both love me already, so please fund my party and join my party and speak highly of me in public. Perfect. Let's proceed a little bit. Also, I've decided that industry-wise, because this is where all sanctions are, I'm going to enlift total embargo on Libya. There's other countries, too, that we could consider. I don't know the reasons for why some of these are, but Libya loves me already. And so I figure, like, at least for them, why not? It's an export embargo, so I think we're stopping ourselves from getting things from their economy. They love me. They don't seem unaligned with me, so I'm just going to get rid of it. There you go. Lift that. Condemned by some free trade organizations. Well, they no longer have to worry. Then it looks like, well, visually here on the map, right? Lebanon looks fairly aligned with me, honestly, so I'm not sure why Lebanon is embargoed. If there's probably real life reasons for this. It's another export one. We want as much economy going on as possible. So I'm gonna lift that total embargo as well because they like me. Iran and Iraq, I don't know. They already don't like me. This could make Iraq like me. Iran, definitely a baddie. Eritrea, they definitely don't like me. The Democratic Republic of the Congo, though they hate my guts. Central African Republic actually likes me, so we'll lift it on them. And then, skipping to the bottom, Yemen doesn't like me, their rebellions do. Sudan does not like me, in fact, they kind of hate me. Somalia, this is weird. I can't tell. They're okay with me. They're not really unaligned with me either, so I'll lift the ban on Somalia. I'm saying that word weirder than I've ever said it. Somalia, not Somalia. Alright, anybody else? What is this agreement? Agreement? We have agreements with these? Look at this, agreement. I can't even click on them. I don't know what these are. Huh. Well, then it's just Iran, Iraq, and some others. So, those are good. I'll leave Iran, I'll leave Iraq, I'll leave Eritrea, Sudan for now. Yep. Right-wing billionaire. Butter him up. Richest, most generous. Please fund my party. And then join my party. Speak highly of me in public. I don't know what those will do from these guys, but it could be some free opinion. So I got 5.6 from statements and press. We're up to 91%. At some point, I would actually like it if China and Russia liked me, because something I would love to do is to go into the UN and get permission to be a permanent member. But I'm sure Russia would say no to me right now. I can ask. I'll ask right now, but I don't know if there's really a purpose to it or anything. We got a $1.63 million transfer and an 815K. Which one is Alfred? Key figures. Where are the billionaires? Businessmen. Alfred. So the right-wing one gave me half the amount. That's funny. I wonder why. That was huge. If you remember that amount, then you'll recall that that's the amount that I earned from the fundraiser after spending almost that amount on it. That 1.6 whatever. And we got 800K on top of that. So we have way more of a budget now, which is good. So we can use that for polling. They're going to be more like the best source. They're going to be the best source. Dissolving the coalition. That doesn't sound good. Somehow renovating dilapidated housing, poorly insulated and unsafe. Oh, I see. It's no longer dilapidated. It's just poorly insulated and unsafe. They changed the wording. This counts as a fight against global warming thing. I'm sure it's an unsafe. It's definitely more than that. Oh, this is cool. As far as income inequality goes, we are one of the best countries in the world, 26.4%. I was looking at like rent increases and stuff like that to see, oh, maybe do we need some stuff like this? And we have some of the least income inequality in the world. That's pretty cool. I might still try to help that a bit, perhaps, but it's clearly not going to be that big of a deal. I got a scientific discovery, the fragrant fabric. I have seen this before, yes. We're not the first to discover it. We can profit a lot because it's very specific. Do you want to patent it and render it commercially accessible to the entire world? If I remember correctly, I did like to patent stuff. But let me see real quick. So if I look in research, I look at discoveries, then I can see all this stuff. Right now, everything is a trade secret. This is all military stuff. Antiviral treatment for corona. Why is this like this? I don't know. I know if you don't patent it, then it benefits your industries and then you sell the result. If you patent it, then everybody else can use it too. I'll probably just keep it a secret. It's me and like America that has it. That's really, really good. It's really good that like we're doing so well. Oh, look at this. I wonder what this capacity adds up to. 53,220. That's how much capacity we have for research staff. So we have a bit more than what we are using. So that's good. I could increase funding here. ICT, cybersecurity. European Union would pay 15% of that. That sometimes, like, cybersecurity sometimes gets treated like a bad thing. So I'll do it like that. With our popularity so high, I could look at increasing some stuff here. We could get some better security service for the head of state now. That crime rate is still going up, but we don't have a lot of data to base that off of. I could go for the fights against pedophilia and sexual violence, but just because the EU funds that. But I don't think we'll do that just yet. An unfavorable change of regime in Cyprus. Cyprus. Well, Cyprus... Oh, they have a communist party in power. Holy cow. Cyprus, huh? I guess that, yeah, unfavorable because they wouldn't be very likely to be our friend in that case. We have support with them because I think they're in the EU. So it really doesn't matter then, right? Theoretically. Well, I'm being congratulated on being popular because I got a tick from security and research. However, riots in Cyprus, ultra-liberal Democratic League. Why do I get to see that there's riots in Cyprus? Why are you telling me this? Why are we keeping such a close eye there? The ultra-liberal Democratic League, which is conservative rightist. That's funny. Not sure why it bothered telling me about that. Maybe because it's a defensive group? I don't know. That's kind of weird. Hey, it's Cybersecurity Day. Looks like Russia also discovered the self-fragrant fiber. That's lucky for them. Cold spell. That's, dude, the fonts. The fonts are so funny. Oh, hey, side by side, you can see the deaths. 118K, Russians 49K, Ukrainians died in the war. That is so uneven. That's totally not how it went, like, realistically, right? Romania's having a hard time passing bills. I'm just curious if anyone's sending any resources. Doesn't seem like it, sadly. So the EU lady is saying that I'm being passive? Invest in development. What are you talking about? Cause of death. Easily view trends concerning deaths in your territory. Summary of worldwide threats in the population window. What? Hold on. Population. Well, hey, looking at these, though, look at this. Waste is happy. Waste production's going way the heck down. Terrorism is happy and going way the heck down. What does she mean, population? I don't... Summary of threats. Is this what she was talking about? Is this what he was talking about? I don't know. But the EU person was yelling at me for some reason. Our unemployment's not really moving as of right now. Inflation is still trending downwards. Growth is kind of stagnant where it is. I would like it to maybe be higher, at least closer to where inflation is. So realistically, love is life. People are happy, improve things. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and lower this to 2.5%, the key interest rate. Inflationary risk, yeah. The growth should spike up for this quarter. Oh, our gross national happiness is down, apparently. And the art of diplomacy. I was thinking about some diplomacy, but there's nothing really important for me to do. Our CO2 emissions have gone down. That's cool. I like how it says that they will fund the reduction of fossil and nuclear sources, yet it won't actually do that. Why nuclear? That's one thing I don't understand. We do need power, potentially. We have a production cap and national consumption, so these two are pretty close to each other. I could do with a source of power. The EU is not really funding a lot of stuff for energy, so one thing I'll do... I'll actually go to police and do the fight against illegal immigration. We'll go ahead and bump that up. They're not going to pay for that either. I just figured I'd do it because we have plenty of extra money. But this, they're only going to pay for like 12-15% of any of this. Now, some of this stuff is you click, you place it on the map as a one-off, and that's pretty much it. So maybe we could do those ones. They're generally usually clean energy. So it's going to take, looks like a year to build, but I went ahead and placed a offshore mega wind farm up here in the northeast. It's average pretty much everywhere I look. So, and one of these produces 15 for a cost of 14 billion over 5 years, 15% EU financing. I looked at some other things like hydroelectricity, and the costs are actually worse compared to this. So this is good. This is good. Wow, that's a lot of stuff happening. We have a riot and a bunch of demonstrations. Why? Is the fight against illegal immigration or something, I assume? We have a couple things. It's like pacifists and this. So this is a riot. Bring in police reinforcements, appear on TV. Ah, yes, one of these. Okay. Right, so we had... Right now we have the Finnish community and the Serbian community that are having a sit-in. That's not too bad. We had demonstrations from the anti-racist and the pacifist groups. Yeah, they don't like us. And we keep getting asked for weapons by Ukraine. Nigeria had a favorable regime change, yet they don't like me, so I don't think I really care. Looks like Cyprus is still having riots. How is Ukraine going, by the way? They are going. I don't see any big movement on the front. It's actually been pretty static on the front. Well, all the demonstrations, all the sit-ins are finishing. Our popularity is still capped. And we got a new generation of RFID chips. Research. That's good. So we're coming out with some good research. Hopefully help our economy. What I did here with the currency took effect. We had like 4.2% growth last I looked. It went back down to 3.84 as time goes on. Our budget is not doing as great now that I put all that money into this. It was this right here. I thought it was a different one, but it was this. Regardless, budget is still in the positive, despite all the things that I've been doing. And unemployment, it got a little better when the growth was higher. Inflation is still trailing down. Council vote. Voting has now begun for a resolution. I don't know what this resolution is. What is this? Oh, the permanent security member. I see. Almost everybody's voting against it, so. Yeah. rejected. So yeah, we're not becoming part of the National Permanent Security Council. Well, I found out what those pacts were, those agreements, and why I couldn't do them. There's free trade agreements with specific countries. There's treaties. There's pacts, reciprocal commercial contract, global economic treaty, pact. Holy cow, look at all this. These are essentially tiers fighting tariffs and borders. Yeah, I'm not a major voter in the EU, so I'm not really going to concern myself too much with it. We're at the point where popularity is maxed and there's not a lot really threatening to bring it down, that I think we can just kind of stop worrying about it in general. There's a thing that pops up like, hey, leave the EU. I feel like we get more benefits than downsides to the EU as such a small nation. And hey, look, we even have more exports than we have imports. Now, it's going in the opposite trend, but we have like a nearly 2-to-1 ratio, so that's good. Our GDP as a percentage of the world's share is improving as well. So Uruguay requested a meeting with me, so I went ahead to say yeah to that. So they wish to purchase fighter planes from me. They only want one, and they're offering something above my sale price. Uruguay, I mean, yeah, this is exactly what's good about this. So let's go ahead and grab that, sure. Holy cow, I got deployment of fiber optics and America discovering some stuff as well. Holy cow, Germany has broken out into protests galore. I can't see any more information on them, but yeah, they're having some demonstrations. I'm also doing something a little risky because I see our growth keeps dropping. Inflation is trailing after it kind of slowly. So I'm going to do something risky and bold. I've lowered our interest rate down to 0%, which is it's going to make things different, but it should give us a nice growth boost. America started a new space program and growth went up to 4.48. Inflation still trailing down after it, which is good. Unemployment not moving too much based off that. The subsidies were failing even as I increased them, by the way, to get any of those sectors going. So at this point, I'm just nationalizing them fully. And we're going to hope that I can just get them off the ground. Speaking of, hey, look, it shows that tanks and armor off the ground. How? How is this off the ground? That's the one I was increasing the most. Maybe it did get off the ground. I don't know. Regardless, I am fully nationalizing those things. And I will try to get them all off the ground manually. People are liking this for some reason. I don't know why, but they are. There's more and more donations of stuff to Ukraine, although I can never usually see what it is. 30% of its budget dedicated to fight global warming, European Union environmental cause. Yeah. We should impose a tax increase on plastic waste. That's already something the EU does. Fun fact. There's still a stalemate between the two armies. All right, so we got a lot of nationalization. Cool. Missile launch. That would be a good one to get going. If I remember correctly, all you even really need is 1 manpower, which it looks like the EU will help fund some of. So I'm going to get all of the... Well, maybe it wasn't 1. I don't know. Maybe it was more like 10. I remember 1 kind of being the hardest. I'll experiment with it. Looks like we have reached the end of a quarter with a $3.61 billion cash surplus. Yeah, time... I'm letting go faster because I was spending so much money. All right, lots of news. I'm having some trouble getting some things up and running, but illegal employment's on the decline. It's at 6%, so that is improving. Perfection of biodegradable plastic, and we just got the helicopter sector up and running. So this nationalization strategy is actually working. Entire video game, they don't want me nationalizing those, so... I guess I won't be getting those up and running. But helicopters, we got up and running. Nuclear submarine, up and running. Missile launch sector, up and... Okay, so the nationalization strategy, this is working. We're going to have to do this for, like, as many things as will allow me in every single relevant sector. From all this nationalization, we have upset them again and we have a demonstration for doing too much. That's funny. The newspapers are telling me less and less as time goes on. Interest rate negotiation. You can negotiate all of our lending partners. Oh yeah, that is true. Oh, this is interesting. They did the reserve differently now. I don't know when they did this. Usually what used to happen was if you accumulated a reserve, then it would immediately go back into the loans and start paying them off. Now you actually have a reserve that builds up that you can utilize. That is really interesting. Well, wow, none of these have a rate. None of these have a rate? Really? Is that new? Because my debt has gone up. And if my debt has gone up, then you'd assume there's a rate, right? Then what the heck's this about? Okay, well, I used our little surplus we had to buy back some of the debt we had from Austria, though it feels like we're going to need more. Remaining time, year 25, 33. These are years before all of that like goes away. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder, they've changed how the debt works. They really have. This like goes away then, question mark. Well, I don't know. It definitely works different now. And there goes that reserve that we worked out. But hey, 4.17% growth after this quarter. Inflation still going down to 6. This is good. We're getting a lot of industries off the ground. I'm going to focus industries first. All right, growth could use some stoking so we can get some projects in the work. Getting 4G to max would be perfect. We can construct this in under 1 month. The EU will finance 10% of it. Let's go ahead and get 4G to max. That is a construction project that will use some manpower. We'll go ahead and get that going. We might need to generate some more money from somewhere. I know what I would like to produce. So we got like digital bonuses as well. We're going to start pumping out these gas wells, because I can set up gas. And it is going to vary a little bit. I think it's all going to be here in this one location. I don't think there's any other location that's actually going to have any gas. And the locations do matter. Damn, the game is lagging out like crazy when I try to do this. Every single one of these wells only costs 10.5 million, so they're very, very cheap. And they will get at least some gas coming out of the ground, some conventional gas. Natural gas, we consume some of. We don't produce any, so that's obviously terrible. Some nationalizations coming through, some not passing. Got some unhappiness there from the environment. I expected this. This is why I did this now that we were at 100. I'm trying to give our economy some buffs. If our economy grows by the end of the year, then we are in a good situation. That's also why the interest rate is currently at 0%. It's just like a free way to do it. Now we start investing in other things that will grow the economy. And we're going to go back and forth with like certain taxes, of which I need to figure some of those out right now. So I've done a lot of polling. I've spent a lot of money. If it's 65, if it's like 70K each, I've spent a few $100,000 polling industrial pollution and some other things to see how much I could raise these kinds of taxes little bit by little bit. The answer is not a lot. Industrial pollution used to be a really, really good one. It doesn't feel too good anymore, but I'm going to go ahead and raise that one up to 3. The right doesn't like it. The left does. The tax on financial transactions, I'll go ahead and try to raise that. This one is like way better. Nope, everybody hates that. Just cancel it. That one can only go, I thought it would be similar to this one. It is not. Company turnover can move by 0.1% at one time. I remember usually liking adjusting that one. The population likes it no matter what. I spent some more time polling to see what I can get. Company turnover, that's also partially like a self-employment tax, I think. I'm also going to introduce a tax on the use of plastic packaging. 1.2. This is the exact tax that the EU has on that. They have exactly that much, and so we'll go ahead and put exactly that much. I could get it way higher with permission. I've never experimented with this one. I don't know how it actually affects the economy. So we're going to figure that out. But we're going to be working on getting money and economy. We can also get a wealth tax of 0.2% up and running right now. So I'll go ahead and get that one going. Not sure how many of these I really care to get up and going, but I'm continuing to poll to figure this out. I usually just see like 1%, and then if it doesn't really do 1%, then I tend to go by the percentages, the tenth. So this one scales really well, just like the plastic packaging one does. Hey, we can officially buy tanks from ourselves. So that means these services are coming online at very variable, yeah, there we go, cannons. At very variable amounts, very variable tiers, I should say. I'll probably leave them nationalized until they start getting contracts. I probably should have tried to negotiate that fighter one a little bit, at least like up to 90, but I was just like, well, anything's better than nothing, because right now we had nothing, and this thing can really expand and contract based on just what goes into it. So we can start building military. I might even kickstart it myself, to be fair. So I'm currently going around setting up some contracts. I'm getting like a couple, just like a couple really, to get some numbers. Missiles, missile launchers, tanks. We have some cannons coming. I think I ordered some helicopters. And as these come in, I'm going to go back and denationalize them to being just one step in, so we can get these industries off the ground. I'm going to do this one by one, very small orders for all of these industries as we get them going. So apparently just barely we can get non-conventional gas and oil through, just barely. So I'll probably try to get some of these right-wingers here to show up, and we can hopefully convince them to be all for it. We just need some more votes. I know we have a coalition. Where is that? It's in our parliament. Okay, well, I picked the ones that weren't with us, so I'll pick the other two now. These guys all love me, so hopefully they'll accept this pretty easily. Woo! All right, we got the agreement negotiations. They're trying to, like, talk us up on our own damn things, which is annoying. Oof, China failed to secure their Neptune space program. That sucks for them. I went ahead and talked to everybody, and by the end of it here, we have now a 56.4%. It's basically, I'd say, guaranteed to go through at this point. I'll try to keep an eye on it, but this goes through and we might be able to exploit more and get that economy exploding regardless of whatever I decide to tax. So with that, though, looks like we have a nice full episode, so I'm going to call this here. So for now, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.